everyone, Saphir Niakadie. I've been in the program for 4 years, and I'm a sophomore at St. Bonaventure University. And this year we worked at NYU Center for Research on Cultural Development and Education under the lead of Dr. Tianna, who is a very, very great mentor. Trust me, I have my list of mentors for being here for 4 years, and I can definitely say that she's a really good mentor. And it's kind of a culture.
Cultural beliefs and practices at the transition to parenting Dominican, Mexican, American, and Chinese families. Okay, the NYU Center for Research on Cultural Development and Education, also known as CRCDE, is funded by the National Science Foundation, the William T. Grant Foundation, and Administration for Children and Families. The mission of the CRCDE is to examine the roles of family, peers, schools, and culture in the children's development and learning. To examine how these associations vary across developmental stages and cultural groups.
The Metro Baby Project is just one of the few projects going on at the CRCDE, and it's also a project that we work on. The Metro Baby Project focuses on empathy, and this is because empathy is a time where the child and the parents and the caregiver build a very strong relationship with the child. Also, when the child is born, things tend to change in the house. So the mothers will change work and income. There will be an increased expense because of the new baby and diapers and all that. And childcare and educational concerns will rise. The 3 pillars of culture. So we have beliefs, practices, and artifacts. And the beliefs are basically what the mother believes is right for her child. The practices are what she would do to, if she believes that, if she believes that her child should be more social or be more respectful. Those are like the practices, those are the things that she would teach her child so that, the child can grow to be what she wants to be. And the artifacts are just the things that the child will interact with.
There are 3 main goals focused that we focus on, and the goal 1 is to describe shared and unique cultural beliefs in infancy. And the question that was asked was, what are the beliefs that most mothers bring to the task of parenting? Is it the goals for their families and children, or beliefs about qualities of an ideal child? Goal 2, to describe changes to cultural beliefs. Do parents' beliefs change over a child's age? If so, how might they change over time? And goal 3, to examine the ways that family resources affect cultural beliefs. For example, the household income or employment or education level of the family in the household can affect the cultural beliefs.
So for this project, we had to do hospital recruitments, and we did the recruitments at 3 public hospitals because they serve low-income families, and they had the ethnicities that we wanted to focus on. So we did recruitments from Harlem Hospital, Allen Pavilion, and the Bellevue Hospital. And the families that we wanted were Mexican, Chinese, Dominican, and African American. After the recruitments were done, because what we did when we were in the lab is that, the recruitments were already done, so we were just doing, analysis, and we had to update the hospital records to calculate the amount of mothers that agreed to the study versus the mothers that did not agree.
So the families in our study, as Saphir said, we focus on the 4 main ethnic groups, which are Mexican, Dominican, Chinese, and African American. And the reason why we focus on these 4 ethnic groups is because they're a large part of the immigrant groups in the United States, especially in New York City and other urban communities. To this date, there are nearly 400 families, 93 Dominican, 96 Mexican, 114 African American, and 56 Chinese.
Procedures. We did semi-structured interviews, surveys. We also videotape some of the interviews so that they can be analyzed. We have baseline interviews, which are that the mothers were interviewed hours after they gave birth, so it was usually 45 minutes to an hour. We also did follow-up interviews where the mother would call over the phone when the child turned 1 to 6 months. Also, home visits were made at 14 months, 24, and 36 months, and we will be having upcoming visits when the children turn 4. And during this time, Tianna made birthday cards and holiday cards for the families, not only to remind them of the 4-year visit, but to let them know that we care and we're not ignoring their children's birthdays and stuff like that.
Future expectations. During these interviews, we ask them questions based on their future expectations of their life in general. For example, how do you think things will change in your life and your family now that you've had a baby? What are your hopes and plans for your child and family over the next year? Do you have any concerns about your child and family? During the 1 month, 14 month, 24 month, and 36 month interviews, we asked the mother questions about what makes an ideal child in her eye. And the question was, what are the qualities you want to see in your child when he or she turns 3, or what qualities do you not want to see in your child when he or she turns 3? During this time, I was coding and entering data for the mother's goals for their children for the upcoming years.
We did transcribing, which is basically, like, the interviews were recorded, so we had to listen to the interviews and type everything that was said. Everything from every single noise, the I don't know, and those. And all the questions that the interviewer asked. And we also had bilingual researchers because, like I said, we had Chinese and Dominican, Mexican families, so we had, like, to make them more comfortable, the interview would be, maybe Spanish, and they would speak in Spanish so that when we transcribe, it was transcribed in Spanish. So Tianna and I worked on transcribing the mother interviews, and we also coded the daily routines of the family. And daily routines are basically everything that the mother did from the time she woke up to the time she went to bed. Some of the characteristics that these families had is that they were all low-income families and they had very low levels of education. So this graph here shows the percentage of families with earnings less than $10,000 in the year prior to the child. So as you can see here, the Mexicans have the highest level of poverty.
Concerns about human capital, meaning the household income. These are quotes from the mothers when they were interviewed. I'm hoping to get my college degree so I can, get a better income and then go back to school and get a suitable job. And another mother says, my only fear is that I will not be able to provide for him financially. This is a two-sided graph. On the left-hand side is the percentage of high school graduation. And as you can see, the African Americans have the highest rate of high school graduates, but they have the least amount of employment. But they graduate from high school, but they don't have a job. But the Mexicans, the Mexicans have the least amount of high school graduate rate, but they're the ones who have the most jobs. They're employed. Demographic summary. Demographic summary. Families from different cultural communities enter the task of parenthood with different human capital resources. Summary of demographics. Mexicans have the highest extreme poverty, but relatively high father residency and employment in Mexican and Chinese families.